Jack Russell Terrier.
Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so excited to be here today. I am with Keegan Smith, and I am Terry Ann Russell, the host of Sacred Wellness Sessions. Today, we're going to be diving deep into this topic, and I think many of us right now are really in this space. And I know I sort of fluctuate between both spaces, going back and forth between awakening and being. And sometimes in the beingness of it, I get a little bit frustrated because, like you said, it's like you're in this cocooning or this introspection period. And so I think many of us, the world pulls so much of us, right? We're pulled with our families, our jobs, even TV that can pull so much of us because we just want a way to sort of decompress and shut all that off of what it is that we're talking about or what's going on.
And social media.
And social media, right? You find yourself just scrolling mindlessly. But spirituality you can feel in your body. And I think for me, someone who's very clairsentient, I want to strive that point across today because embodiment really is about now this feeling, right? We've learned all the things, we've done all the things, we've awakened, we've become. I've got a show coming out in a couple of weeks. It's called I've Awakened, Now What? So this one really talks about where we are in that embodiment period. So Keegan, welcome to the show. I want to hear so much of what you have to say today.
Hello.
I'm so excited you're here. So let's bring it home.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I always feel, we were talking before the show about how we feel it's like talking to a girlfriend that you haven't talked to in a while and you're getting together. And I do believe that this space is like a portal, a way for women to come in and connect and listen and not only learn, but be part of it. So I'm hoping that soon we'll be able to get some listeners on here that may want to show up on screen and share their story as well. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that would be really, really great, actually.
Yeah, I would love that.
I think that would be awesome because it's like tea time for us.
Absolutely. I want to start off a little bit differently than how we normally do. I was guided before the show. I tuned in and I was guided to sort of do a little few-minute experiment of tuning in to ourselves and just getting us in this space of connection. So you want to do that with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So just take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Just allow your focus to come in to where we are today in this moment. Wherever you are, just take a moment to pause. As you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, just allow it to let out slowly, slowly, slowly. As we slow ourselves down and we bring our awareness into our body. Notice your feet. Notice the weight of your body. Notice the ground beneath you. And feel that gravity hold you. Bring your attention to your breath, not trying to change it, but just noticing it. Each inhale, a wave of life entering, and each exhale brings a softening, a release. Now, as you scan through your body slowly, I want you to notice your shoulders and your head. Often, we get so caught up in our head space that we can't feel the rest of our body. As you imagine all those thoughts just leaving, notice your shoulders. Are they lifted? Can you just let them drop a little bit? Notice your jaw. Where is it tight? Can you just soften it a little bit? Notice in your chest. What are you holding there? As you expand greatly and deeply with each breath, it naturally softens on its own. And as you breathe, move down into your belly. Place your hands on your stomach and just ask, what does my body need from me right now? Maybe it needs rest. Maybe it needs movement. Maybe it just needs some kindness and love. Whatever it is, just let it be and honor what your body is telling you. Our body is not just a vessel, it's a temple. And when you are ready, slowly bring your awareness back to the room and take in one more nourishing deep breath. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And as you exhale, gently open your eyes, knowing you are embodied, you are here, and you are whole. Tuned
That was
in.
good. Yeah.
Tuned in and ready to go. So let's jump right in. I want to ask you today. We were talking a little bit before. What should we talk about? Keegan and I always connect, and what's going on with you right now? What's going on with me? And we always are usually in or near the same place, which is always amazing. Spirituality often gets framed as this mystical escape, and it's always taught as almost something that's outside of ourselves, right? Like whether it's meditation or a ritual, that's
Yes.
outside of you. And what we're talking about today is, and I know I hear it from a lot of my clients, but I want to feel it more. What does it really mean? I
Mm-hmm.
want to feel it. We talk about spirituality, we read about it, we
Yes.
research it,
Yes.
but what does it really feel? So, how do you see embodiment as part of our spiritual evolution right now?
I think that it's essential right now, especially with how you said social media and all these things to distract us and disconnect us. I think even more we need to create this embodiment so that we can remember authenticity. Because without the embodiment of things, we it's impossible to be authentic and to really live authentically in our truth, in ourself, in our lives, and to be the example of that.
And
So
I feel like you
embodiment,
are
I think, is the main focus.
And I feel like you are the embodiment of that. I watch you and I see what you post, and I know that you're living truly through your authenticity, through your soul, and what your soul guides you to do. I think, often we get stuck in this place because we're guided to do things, and sometimes we have a resistance because we want to know, well, what does that exactly look like? And people say to me,
Yep.
like, well, it must be so easy for you because you know everything. No, I don't. Like, I'm not given the whole blueprint right in front of me. Terry Ann, do this. Terry Ann, go here.
No.
Terry Ann, write this. It's like a picture, and it's up to me how to get that picture to come into reality, right? They're not like A, B, and C, do this and it'll be great. No, it's up to me to do that part. That's the embodiment part, right?
Exactly. And to be cliche, it makes you a chosen one. And the only difference between the chosen ones is the ability to choose. And once you embody that in your everyday life, the fact that you do have a choice, you have a choice to create that magic and embody that magic every single day in every single moment. Um, then you do become the chosen one. And some of that overwhelming falls off. Some of that overwhelming what to do next, where do I go, what do I do, starts to fall off. Because if you are choosing every single moment of your life, actively choosing, then you're only creating the things that you do want or you don't want. So it's kind of inevitable to go forward into the direction you're headed in when you're choosing all of the things that resonate in what you want.
Yes.
And that are value to you.
And sometimes that just can be taking a bath, reading a book. It can
Yes.
be doing nothing, taking a nap. I think we get so caught up. I know I have a lot of those limiting beliefs and thoughts that keep us stuck in that pattern of, I have to be doing something or I'm lazy. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
And we got caught in that loop of, well, that taking a nap, how is that beneficial to me? Because that's what my body needs. When I asked you to tune in this morning, whoever was listening, when you're tuning in and you're asking, what do you need today? And you hear, I need rest. For a lot of us, it's hard to then honor that rest period, right? Because we get caught up in those beliefs that we have about what that means.
Yeah, we immediately give ourselves conditions. Okay, you can rest after XYZ is finished because you have XYZ to do. And in that moment, you're not choosing self. You're not choosing the truth. And the truth is that you need rest and that those things theoretically can wait. Yeah, life throws things at us that need our attention right away. But realistically, there is nothing that needs your immediate attention unless it's an absolute emergency. And you know, when do we ever in our lives get to prioritize ourselves like that and choose, like you said, this most simple thing? Do I want to wash dishes right now or do I want to take a bath? The dishes will be there. And I promise there'll be more dishes tomorrow and the day after that. But this moment to take a bath because I need it is not. And this is how your body starts to trust itself again. This is how you start to connect with spirit and your intuition. This is when you start to feel things again. Because you also have to feel the uncomfortableness of choosing that the first few times. Because I know when I do choose myself or I do choose to rest, it's this overwhelming guilt at first. And I need to be able to feel that uncomfortableness so I can sit with that and move forward so that next time it's easier to choose myself. It's easier to choose the bath. And then I can add the magic bubbles and the sprinkles and have a glass of wine or however magical I want to make that bath. Because it doesn't just have to be a simple bath either.
Yes.
You can turn it into a ritual. It could be, say you chose yourself for the first time ever, and it's the 15th of, I don't know, October. You can make the 15th of every month a ritual bath because you're remembering that you chose your sovereignty that day, or you're remembering you chose what your body needed that day. And that is embodiment. And now you have a ritual for yourself that is so simple, but it's so loving and needed.
And when you're looking at that guilt that comes in from that, right, we're always looking at, what does this actually mean for me? Because before you and I got together today, I pulled some cards and the cards spoke about, what does that actually mean for me today, right? So this is what we pulled, Aphrodite, which is love, not just romantic love, but love for yourself.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to butcher this one, Mnemosyne, which is about the past and embodying now what you actually have gone through and recognizing where that guilt comes from. It's not from you. You were taught something that made you believe that for you, it is not right or it's wrong to put yourself before other things that may necessarily be more important than you. Like the dishes are more important to you. I love that you use that analogy because dishes are always there and they continue and they continue and they continue.
Yeah, they do.
They go away.
I swear, every new drink in this house has to have a new cup too.
Or you wake up in the morning and you go, I know I did the dishes last night. Why are all these dishes in the sink?
Yeah. Kitchen fairy, what happened?
So your name is Between Two Temples. I want to talk about something I really noticed. Spirituality really says to us, right? The body is just this vessel. And I don't believe that. I believe that we're so much more. We're recognizing this body. And for me personally, I'll tell you, the physical body has been the hardest aspect of all four of my energy bodies that I have to work on. The physical body gives me the most trouble because I hate being in a physical body. So I'd rather be out there in the ethers all the time. But I don't talk about the body.
I got to ground all the time.
Me too, and I don't do it enough. Um, the body itself is sacred, right? When we think of the body holds so much wisdom that is part of us. And we're trying to come into this life and doing all these things, and we're awakening, right? And we're doing the practices, and we're connecting, and we're meditating, and we're journaling, and we're grounding, right? And we're having fun with our families, and we're doing creative stuff, right? We're doing everything. But what we're forgetting is this physical body. And I had to laugh when this was
Yeah.
coming through, because I was like, are you specifically just talking to me, or is this supposed to be out there for people? No, it's supposed to be out there for people. So I want to know, how do you sort of experience this shift in your own life? Because this is something that I'm continually working on, like those dishes.
Mm-hmm. I agree. The body has always been a challenge for me because from a young age, we're just taught like hard work equaled success, hard work equaled reward, and punishing. Like we've talked before about my background in the Catholic Church and things like that, and the punishing factor. Like you have to suffer in order to have some kind of gain, and I am constantly having to fight that conditioning, I guess, within my body. Like I don't have to punish myself in order to rest. I don't have to punish myself in order to sit down and write or to create something or do something that I enjoy. I think that was a big like aha moment, was why do I feel like I have to punish myself or sacrifice something or suffer in some way to then receive joy or give myself joy. I can literally embody that joy and create joy even in the shittiest moments, even in the crappiest moments. And that is a superpower, and that is our power. And I believe that is the part that we're supposed to snatch out of the ether and bring into us. The suffering is inevitable in life. That part is inevitable, but the spirit and the imagination and creation is infinite. You know what I mean? And that's the part that I think we're supposed to be pulling in and embodying. Like it doesn't have to be this physical. It can also be a mix of the two. It can definitely be between two temples. It can be the temple of you and I. It can be between your two temples, your mind. It can be the body and the mind, whatever it means. And I think that it's a reminder to that. Like we once you awaken, it's your job to pull back down what we're all forgetting. And that's what our bodies are. Our bodies, to me, are proof that the past happened, that the past existed.
Yeah.
We have people that write history and things like that, but our bodies are keeping the score. Our bloodlines are keeping the score. And it's the most accurate depiction of history. And we're supposed to like merge the two, and bring that all back in. And it's a hard thing to do, but it's important. And that's why our bodies feel, because it is the past. It's the recording of it all. So we can change it too as we're going. It's incredible. It's addictive, actually.
And each phase that you're in, right? So being in the menopausal phase now, my body is changing and shifting so much. And I've said this before, and I shouldn't say it again. But I almost feel like my body turned on me, but it's not turning on me to hurt me. It's turning on me as an invitation, right? It's an invitation now to give to my body, because my body needs me right now, right? So I'm learning now the spiritual, mental, emotional, great. The body needs you now. So this invitation that I'm getting is more about awakening to what that physical body is. What does this body need from me? Because obviously all of us come through this life, and our body is probably the worst treated out of all of our energy bodies, because we're going through our mind also, but our bodies too. I don't think we talk about this. Women are really talked about how they're supposed to look, and we're shown every day, this is what you're supposed to look like, size 2. I mean, even when I was a size 4, I didn't think I was skinny. What does that tell you about what my mindset was? And I look at pictures and I'm like, oh my gosh, you were so skinny. Like my bones were sticking out. And I was like,
imagine if you had given yourself permission to love yourself then, what it would have looked like,
Exactly. So here I am, 40 pounds heavier, loving myself in this body. And I'm like, woo. So this has been for me a journey. And I think we as women don't talk about it enough, right? We're all like, oh, yeah, everything's great. Everything. How are you? Like when somebody says, how are you, Keegan? I'm good, or I'm okay. And we leave it at that because I don't want you to make me uncomfortable and I don't want to make you
Yeah.
uncomfortable. So we're going to leave it at that and we're not going to go any further. But when I ask you that, it's because usually I'm already feeling something, right? Or so you've
Hmm.
experienced something. And this happens with a lot of people, not just with Keegan and I. We are innately connected to everyone and everything. And so even just the simple word of how are you, I'm in that embodiment space of who I truly am because I want to really know how you are or who you are. When I ask
Yeah.
you, who are you, Keegan? And not Keegan, but other people will say, well, I don't know, Liv's mom, or I'm Justin's wife, or, an artist, or
Yeah.
but like, who are you really? So who
All
are
these
you really,
hats.
Keegan?
Who am I really? I am a seeker. I definitely am a seeker, and I am a gypsy soul. I think that
I
it
love
is
that.
way more better to live in the imagination and to try, like I said, to ground that back in than it is to live in misery of anything. So I say I'm a seeker. I'm a seeker of the truth. I'm a seeker of sunlight. I'm a seeker of the light in the shadows. I'm a seeker of deeper knowledge. I want to know the depths of the ocean. I want to know the depths of the person. I want to know what makes you tick, but I also want to know what opens you up, you know? And it's because I'm always seeking that within. I'm always finding ways to dive deeper within myself. It's my addiction. And
Yes.
I am, a container, keeping score here, a container. And from the looks of it, a little full. No, just kidding. But I am a
Full
container,
body.
but I'm so much, it's many, many lives. It's many, many experiences. It's many, many souls. It's many, many changes. Like you said, who are you? That can change tomorrow. What we do and what we learn and what we come to terms with or what we negate from our lives is shaping us every single day. So, who am I? A seeker. And I feel like if you're always seeking, then you're always, you know, on a path. You're not sitting
Yeah.
stagnant.
Yeah, curious. And, I think a lot of us forget. I know I did so much when I was a child. I was so much more imaginative than I am now. I'm
Mhm.
better now, but years ago, I mean, I look at my life and it was so flat, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Flat. It was like there was a smile there. And like I said, I was 100 pounds. I should have been, I had 3 kids, a house, we traveled, and I should have been the happiest I had ever been, but I felt
Yeah.
flat, like unseen, unheard.
Yeah. I kind of agree, like in the parts of my life where I should have been the happiest and the most content and the most comfortable, I was the most um like hollow, like empty vesseled. There was
Yeah.
nothing,
Yeah.
I had to find spirit again. And I hadn't felt it like you were talking about with clients and stuff. Like, how do you feel it? I haven't felt it in a long time. And um child having a child, and having to try to create childlike memories and childlike things, it puts you back in contact with your inner child, both the shadow side and the lighter side, and you realize the magic again, and you realize all of these little moments that you can create magic. And to me, magic is spirit, and it is feeling. And we have that dualistic nature, we can open somebody up with fear and anger, or we can open them up with unconditional love and joy. And it's like being able to choose that.
Yeah.
Why would you ever not choose to create some kind of magic for yourself and then in return create magic in someone else's life, and then you're getting that open heart chakra sent right back to you because you're reminding someone else that there's magic and that it exists. and
Right.
and like I said, like really pulling that from the ether and really pulling that and grounding it. And grounding it just isn't about containing it in our container, in our vessel, but it's ways to like push onto another person the same kind of beauty to make them too wonder. and make them to seek. Because
Yes.
life without spirit is really empty. It's so hollow, and there's no connection. And that's what kills us, is that true
Hmm.
connection. Being in a
Yeah.
room and feeling alone, like that is a really shitty feeling.
It really is. Or being, in a family full of tons of people, but you still feel alone. You feel alone
Alone,
in
like
your
you're not
experiences.
seen.
Yeah. Who
Yeah,
you are,
you
what
feel
you can share, what you can't share.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
You can think
You can
I'm
feel
weird, but I'm
almost
going to be weird.
exactly. And Terry, I'm glad you brought that up because being awakened also allows you to feel more. And in feeling more, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. You can also feel the negativity in a room. You can also feel the envy on somebody when you share an experience that they have no comparison to. Or if you share a dream and you accomplish that dream, you can feel the the wall on someone, or you can feel the unreceptiveness. So that's, part of it too, that is a challenge, and that teaches you discernment. It teaches you who is an open-hearted connection that you can share with and
Yes.
who is not. And to maybe listen to it. You don't have to hate that person. You don't have to, wish negative on that person, but that's not someone you're going to share that open heart connection with. That's not someone you're going to share and be reciprocated.
Right. You want to be around people that really recognize you and who you are. Like when I do my prayers in the morning, I pray for my daughter. I pray that she has friends that are like-minded, that are heart open and soul-based like she is. Because, as we were talking about earlier with that quote, and I send her into the world every day, and she has such a pure heart. I don't want her to feel that animosity or that pain. I know she will, and it's inevitable, but if
Yeah,
I've given her the
it's
tools,
real.
to do that and to understand what that means, right? You can recognize it. I was
Mhm.
fortunate. I was really surrounded by beautiful, beautiful women growing up. So my friends that I had in high school, I still have, and I'm so fortunate. And even though we're very different and we live very far away, there's still this deep connection. But I think today, because we have all of this judgment and we have all of
Yeah.
these people always looking at us on social media, that our young girls today are so intimidated, and maybe we were then too, but I don't think it was as prevalent as now, of how they're supposed to look, how they're supposed to act, what they're supposed to do, what they're supposed to wear. And I think if we move more away from that, or we give our daughters the tools, give her the fucking tools that she needs to go out there in the world.
You can't make them use the tools, but if you provide them with the tools, you can only hope that one day, one situation is just going to click.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Or
it's so
maybe it already
important.
has clicked and they can just have the stepping stone. But
Yes.
I'm still
Oh.
learning. So for I'm still learning at 38 years old so many new things about myself. So I don't know what age I would ever expect her to have it figured out. Nor do I have an age that I'm going to stop providing tools for her, because
Yes.
every stage requires new tools. And I wish that that's what we taught as a society too. Like, we have these milestones that we need to make, or these markers that we need to make, and then they kind of like, twiddle off after 21. It's like, oh, once you can drink, that's it. There's no other milestones to look forward to. But it's like there's so many huge milestones that we don't put enough emphasis on. Picking a partner for life, how important that is. Picking yourself in life, how important that is. Travel, if you want to travel. And travel doesn't mean you have to go all over the world. It can be going to the next city. I meet so many people that have never even left their state.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't wonder that? Oh, well, I can Google this and I can Google that. But to see, feel, and touch it and taste it, come on.
Yeah. How do you know
It's
if you've not
important.
experienced it? Right. So embodying really is that, right? Because we're given the tools. We were given the tools. We are embodying what those tools mean. Now, yeah, do we get triggered and get caught up sometimes in a moment? Yes, we do. I love that you shared that you're not perfect, that you are still learning, because I think the whole journey is a learning journey. And we're not done just because we're sitting here and saying, like you said, awakened, chosen, whatever word you want to use. We're still in the midst of, but what embodiment means is really living your life daily, how you want to live it on your terms,
Exactly.
with the spirit within you, with your soul that is lit up by the things you're doing rather than dragged down by the things that you're doing.
And surrendering to the fact that there's always going to be an opposition to that. I think so many of us get caught up in the opposition. They don't appreciate the value of choosing themselves, or choosing what they value and choosing what they love. They get hung up on, why can't you see what I love? Instead of just keep loving what you love and build this life created around everything that you know you want or you don't want. And embodying will be living proof when you see what is created around you, because we're talking about the physical now. And when we bring it into the body and we bring it into the physical, that's when we start creating our lives. That's when we start saying, you know what, this white wall that I'm looking at for 4 years, this is my house. I could go to the store at any moment and paint this wall. I don't have to look at this same white wall. It's the most simple things like that. People have given their sovereignty away to depression and social media and things like that. And they forget like the tiniest little things that they absolutely have control over. And that is part of the embodiment too, is the doing. And it doesn't mean work your butt off. It's like the doing. What can you do around yourself to make you happy? What can you eliminate to create joy? What can you change to bring some spice into it? You know what I mean?
Yes, I was just going to say, and sometimes that means saying, I don't give a crap what you think about me.
No.
How many of us have a really hard time with being in a situation and someone doesn't like us, or they're not valuing what we're saying, and we're like, well, why don't they like that? Or, I'm being authentic in who I am, but what's wrong with me? And we go back to that, what's wrong with me? There ain't nothing fucking wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. I'm just around the wrong people. And I think as you're learning that and you're on your journey and you're looking and you're reevaluating your life, like, is this really is that white wall really what I want? I mean, I remember my daughter, when we moved in this house, she wanted to paint and do a mural, and she started it and hasn't finished it, by the way, but she's got paint.
True Scorpio form.
Yes, that's her. But she's got paintings and parts of things painted on her wall. And I gave her carte blanche. This is your room. It can be painted over when we move, but everybody's like, oh my God, what about the resale value? You're going to have to paint over that. You know how many coats of paint you're going to need? And I'm like,
it's so dumb.
Express herself.
Yeah, it's so dumb. If I have to change Olivia's bedroom color every year so she's happy in her space, I will do it. Like, these are the simple things we can do to create joy. They don't have to, like, it doesn't have to be a punishment.
Yeah, and I remember my dad didn't even want like tape on the windows, like at Halloween.
No.
And tape on the windows was bad.
I used to get yelled at if I wanted to put a nail in the wall. These are new walls, and I have to live in this bedroom. I don't want to look at this.
Plain white. Like, that's what I got behind me now, but I haven't done anything in here yet.
Even renting, like, Justin and I were military. Even renting, I would walk in and paint a rental, like different colors and stuff. Like, I have to live here. I have to create joy somewhere, you know.
Right. So I'll pay the $100 to paint when I move. It's like, I'll paint
exactly. I'll pay the rental agency whatever the fee is, because I painted a wall.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit. You tapped into it a little bit, and I think this is a big one. I know for me, it's a big one. I want to hear your response, but sometimes that resistance. I've been sitting
I hate the word. I hate the word.
I've been sitting like in this little place of embodiment. Can also be a form of resistance, right? It wants us to move, numb, distract, get out of, like, because what I find is on my journey is, so I'm locked in, I'm zoned in, right? I'm getting guidance, I'm doing things, I'm making moves, opportunities are coming. And all of a sudden, here comes all my family's distractions. I need this, somebody's sick, the car broke, I got to run over there and take care of my mom. So all these distractions then come in and slow me down. And I'm like, oh, like, because life does happen, right? We're
It
not going to tell you
does.
that life doesn't happen when you're embodied, because
It
life
does.
still freaking happens. I want to know, when we choose to be present in that moment, in that resistance, my body, my initial reaction is that tightness, like shutting down. I'm aggravated, I'm frustrated, and I can't create in that space. So for me,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what is this resistance now telling me? How am I looking at, how can I reframe what all this stuff is? Because like you said earlier, there are emergencies and things that need our attention, and we have families and husbands and jobs. But when we're present in our body and we're feeling, okay, now I'm feeling this tightness and this angst and this I'm dissatisfied, right? I want to know for you, how do you find yourself able to slow down and be present? So with that resistance, and sort of embrace what that resistance is.
So I used to put that's a really great question actually, because it's still something I'm navigating, resistance, because resistance feels different for every situation. You know, we feel it in our body
Mm-hmm.
differently for every situation. So obviously if you're feeling resistance around something harmful or toxic or abusive, get the hell out of there. Don't even second guess it. You know what I mean? Don't even sit with that resonance long enough to convince yourself otherwise. But if it's, you know, normal everyday life stuff, the resistance, like you said, it has to be felt. And I used to wait until after I deal with whatever the problem is, because I have this strong persona and I can get it done, and I can, you know, not buckle under pressure and things like that. And I always am left with resentment because I didn't address the resistance. And that is what I'm realizing. And so now, presently, and when I say now, I don't know, the past 12 months, 13 months or so, I have tried to reverse that and feel the resistance as soon as it comes up and ask myself, where is it coming from? You know, and I don't know, I have a reason for everything. If I'm feeling it in my shoulders, I'm like, oh, this is sadness and grief. This is because I did this so many times and I wasn't received. I wasn't even given a thank you. And this person always has a problem, you know. If I feel it tight in my back, it's a worrisome. If I feel it in my stomach, I don't want to do it. Like, you know, like where is the resistance in my body? And
Yeah.
then I'm then able to choose how I'm going to show up in whatever it is, because I address the resistance first. So
Right.
if I committed to something that I know I didn't want to do, I show up um I show up with the mind frame that I will not be choosing this again. I still commit to what I say I'm going to do, but it won't be chosen again. It won't be
Right.
taken off guard. It won't be, you know, demanded I drop everything and go. The conditions in which it is will be changed. If I sit with the resistance and you know, I'm enabling a situation or something, I'll actually go back and give conditions in which then I'm now going to participate, because I I want to be received here too,
Yeah.
because resistance usually comes from imbalance somewhere. That's why we feel it.
Yeah, that's so powerful. That is so powerful. I can't stress enough how important it is that we use this body we have as this tool, because
Tool.
our body knows before we know, right? Before you know, I mean,
Exactly.
I studied psychology in college, and I can't tell you how many serial killers that I was studying, that I interviewed in the paper that I was writing for, that said to me, they were like, oh, well, you know, what the victims had said was that they their body knew, they knew something was off before their mind even kicked to that.
Yeah.
And years and years ago, so I was young and I heard that and I was like, that's really strange. Like, the serial killer would know beforehand that that would be a good victim, because they weren't
Yep.
paying attention. Like, they could sort of read that. When you talk about reading people, right? They could sort of read that that person had a weakness, and that person then would say, well, not the serial killer's person. Sorry. I'm listening to myself. I'm like, well, it's not the serial killer's person who's in the live. Sorry. I got
I
ahead of
know.
myself. But you know what I mean? A victim would then say, yes, I was feeling it, but I wasn't acknowledging it because I didn't want to be
Yeah,
rude.
or
Or
I
I
was
didn't want to be mean.
afraid
I was
to
afraid.
listen to myself.
Right.
Yeah, and actually what you were feeling was the fear of that person. You were literally feeling like you should be afraid of that person, not you should be afraid to disappoint that person, and that's usually what it turns into. And that, I know what you're talking about. That's how they pick victims. They pick
Yes.
victims that have the dual head, that will go in and convince themselves that what they're feeling isn't real. They love people like that.
Yeah. And I was reading, and like I said, I was young when I did my psychology, but I was like, I was stunned. I was like, wow, this is actually a thing. So I'll always make sure that if I'm comfortable in a situation, I'll look you right in the eyes. I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to look you right in the eyes. There's going to be no fear in my eyes because you're not going to be able to pull something over. And I can't tell you how many times
Exactly.
I've looked exactly in someone's eyes and they've walked away. They know.
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
know. They can't do that.
And were you challenged? Like, I have a joke with my girlfriend, one of my best friends. I say, no one ever tells me I'm wrong. So until someone comes and tells me I'm wrong, I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. But it's because I do kangaroo court. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm a Taurus, but I'm not with the bullshit, okay? I see it. I see it.
I see right
I
through
see
your
it. And
bullshit.
if we're gonna keep playing games, then I'm just gonna remove my energy and you're gonna feel how cold that is.
But you're lucky you're not married to the Gemini, because my Gemini and Anthony was too. Bullshitters, bullshitters, bullshitters.
I'm
Sorry,
married to a
Gemini.
Leo. They're bullshitters too.
I was married to a Leo. Yes, they are. That is
Anything for the spotlight not to be on them, but to be all on them.
And they think you don't know.
Yes.
That's what I always say about Leos. And they think you don't know. They think you're stupid. Does it say stupid across my
Yeah.
forehead? I
No.
already know. Like my
Just
ex-husband
because
would
I
say,
know how to deal with the resistance doesn't mean I'm stupid.
right,
But
my
no,
ex-husband would say like, what did he say? Not telling you is not lying.
yeah,
Admitting
do
the
not
truth is not lying.
don't volunteer information.
I already know the truth, asshole.
Yeah.
I can already feel the truth within that. You know, embodiment is so funny. I love talking about this with you because I think when people look at embodied, right? I'm an embodied soul, right? I've done the work. I'm awakened, blah, blah, blah. It's going to look like it's easy. We have this misconception that it's easy, and it's not
No.
always easy. There are moments that it's easy and I go with the flow, right? And we're in our space and everything's flowing, but that resistance continually comes in, and it not only comes in to teach us, it comes in to show us where we still are not unaware, or where we're still unaware in our body what that all means.
And sometimes when I sit with that resistance, I literally say no because I just see it as the universe testing me. Like when I'm in the groove, like you said, when I'm in the groove and I'm getting stuff done and things are coming in and, work is focused and all of this stuff, it is like clockwork. And sometimes I really think it's just the test. Like, are you going to abandon yourself this time again? Are you going to abandon it, or are we going to stick forward? Are we going to keep on this frequency, or are we going to abandon ship? Are we going to stay on this frequency, or are we going to abandon ship? And it's exhausting, but I really think that that's what it is. It's like the trickling coming in, or the static, I should say. And it's like, hey, you're going to catch this frequency, or are you going to stay forward? And I
Yeah,
just always say,
abandonment is a big.
if
Go
it's
ahead.
somebody or something that is bettering themselves or bettering you to help or to have your attention or energy siphoned, if it's beneficial to all parties involved, then fight the resistance.
Yeah.
But if it's a one-sided street, you need to be uncomfortable with the resistance of you choosing yourself, because that is very uncomfortable when you start embodying that. It
Yeah, and
is.
abandonment, I think we look at it as though they abandoned me, but how often have you abandoned yourself?
Exactly. And that
It's
is
not
what's being
about.
triggered now. That's
Mhm.
what's being triggered. It's not the other physical person doing something. It's your ability to allow that to affect you,
Right. I would
to
always
allow
say
that
my
guilt to creep
ex-husband, I set the boundaries and he would cross the line, cross the line, cross the line.
in.
I kept letting him cross the line. That's
Right.
on me
And
because
then
I allowed.
exactly. And then in return, he's being conditioned to push your boundaries.
Continually.
Exactly.
Until I said no more, until I chose myself. So I think embodiment means many different things to many different people. And it really depends, if you're listening today, where you are in that mindset, where you are on your spiritual journey. You know, we all want to get, I always say, we all want to get to the end, right? We want to get to the destination, go on vacation. I want to just get there. But we forget about what the journey is to get there. And embodiment is also a journey. It's a journey into and of itself, because now we're looking at what this means and what it means for our body.
And when you were talking about the container too, and like getting older and changing and everything, that uncomfortable resistance also comes in choosing things for our health and everything. It's not just situations with people. I was just, when you were talking, thinking about like even going into the store and you're having a bad day, if it's your normal habit to grab a Coke and a candy bar to make yourself feel better for that moment or whatever it is, that uncomfortableness to say, hey, I'm not going to do that is embodiment too. It's choosing the body literally and choosing to listen to the body. And damn Skippy, after you eat that chocolate and Coke, an hour later, you don't feel good. You don't.
No, you don't.
So when are you going to listen to that?
Right. And your body's like, what the hell?
Yeah. Why did you do that? We had a moment that we thought about it at that counter. Like, this is how I think our body communicates back. Like, hey, mind, hey, Keegan, we had a moment that we said, hey, we probably shouldn't buy that. And then you did. And so, like, this is what I have to deal with now because you're an asshole.
I told you not to do it.
I told you how many times not to do this. Are we done now choosing that? Are we done choosing that? Are we going to choose something different? And that's resistance. It is.
I have a theory because I believe, like, Sophia is like highly allergic to tree nuts, and I love nuts. And I was always, but I know when I went back and I looked at my body, my blood type, I did a thing, and this is what you're supposed to be eating. And nuts weren't on there. It was meat. And I was like, I hate meat.
So you were not eating how you were supposed to either.
No. So I'm like, damn it. And I hate meat. So I'm like, what do you mean I got to eat meat? Like, oh my gosh. But it's funny because then, that's the resistance also, right? We know what we're supposed to be doing, but we want to still do it. And now life says, well, no, you're not gonna, because like you said, either you feel bad or you can't have it in the house. And so we're going to find a way to sort of maneuver. I laugh to myself because I'm like you, my mind is like always thinking, and I'm like, it's almost like the Wizard of Oz is back there. And he's like, okay, Terrian wants to have, like you said, your chocolate bar. And no, we're going to like tell her, no, this is what she's going to feel like. And, and then like put something else in front of you. Here's some fruit.
Yeah.
Like, here's your message. Eat the damn fruit.
Yeah. Here's the peach, lady. Take the peach. It's true, so but like if we don't and practice embodiment as soon as we are aware of embodiment, then the body will take it back. At some point in our life, the body will take control back. You can't think your way out of health. You can't. You cannot.
I saw a sign. My friends, they own a harmonic egg, and there's a sign in their office that says, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will make time for your illness.
Ooh. Yes.
And how true is it, right? Because we can do everything we want to do, and you can have the candy and the cheeseburger and all that, but your body's going to turn on you, and whether you're going to be sick or not, really depends on how much you've eaten of it, right? And what your body feels like afterwards. Like I was always so in tune with my body. And I lost that along the way somewhere many years ago. And
pregnancy. I'm telling you, pregnancy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think the soul, like that little soul growing, takes over, and you just stop thinking about yourself, and everything is just about that little being.
Yep.
And you did that, what, 4 times?
Well, 6. I have 4 children, but I was pregnant 6 times. Yeah. 6. I abused my body.
I have 1, but I was pregnant 4 times, so I understand. I really think, and I think that this past 10 years has been that retrieval of remembering me, and then also learning who this person is after life has happened.
Yeah.
And how do we integrate all of that?
Yeah. So I want to know, I want to hear from you guys. is the body your hardest piece, like Keegan and I, or is it your mental? Is it your emotional? Or maybe it's your spiritual? There's so many times that we are going to come into this soul, or right, our soul's going to come into our body, and we're going to choose things that are difficult because our soul wants to learn. So if it's your body like us, leave us a message and let us know, because we're still working in this position to learn to love our bodies, love to nurture our bodies, and be an embodiment with what our bodies are actually saying. But actually, you know, all of what we talked about today, I think I want to ask, most importantly, if you are like us and you're having a difficult time with your body and being embodied, because what's right in the middle of that, embodied?
Yeah.
I want to know if you're still living in your head and not your body, and how do you sort of navigate the two? And if you're like us and you've done things where you betrayed your body, or you did things that were bad for your body, you know, how did that feel afterwards for your body? And were you able to connect the two and sort of look at that and what it means? I'd love to hear
Are you
about
still,
that kind of stuff.
yeah, are you also still stuck in it too, whatever happened to your body? Because a lot of us don't realize that we get trapped in embodiment as well, and we can't get out of the body. And
Yes.
that creates a lot of rage and emotional inconsistencies and all kinds of things like that. Because sometimes we have to choose the body. We have to feel what needs to be felt and not bypass it, so we can get out of the body and back into the mind and have some kind of control.
Yeah. Do
There's
you
always
remember
two
a
sides to
time? Yeah. Do you remember a time? We touched upon it earlier, but like when your body felt numb.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
And when you choose to feel numb, like there's parts of my life that I chose to feel numb because I was too afraid to say no. And my body remembers that. And so for me to say no is a way bigger feeling inside than somebody else that has been practicing no forever and not disassociating. So resistance comes a lot when I have to say no in order to choose myself, because I chose numbness over
Yeah.
saying no.
Disassociation is a huge one. Maybe we should do a show about that, because that I found is one of the most difficult parts, if not one of the difficult parts that I've had with teaching myself not to disassociate and to use the power of my voice, use the power of my body, because I'm strong, I'm embodied, I know who I am now versus who I was.
Exactly.
Disassociation is really a difficult, yeah, process to
Yeah,
undergo.
I agree. We should, because disassociation is a huge thing and there's so many ways that we do it. And it's not healthy. And it's something you literally have to be conscious of. Like, no, I'm going to be present in this. I need to be present in this so I can change it.
Yeah. And because you're usually disassociating, you're remembering your body. That's what I mentioned earlier, what I was talking about, because the body is remembering. So we
Mhm.
disassociate because the body's already remembering something that happened previously, and your body is protecting you already. So we're going to disassociate, and then our mind sort of kicks in, right? Oh, yeah, I remember this. I'm not going down that road again, as you were saying.
Yeah. And then you fill in the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're not acting from your core at all. You're not acting from the embodiment of your spirit. You are acting on autopilot. You're acting on emotion, or you're acting on whatever is stored.
Yeah.
The
I want to
robot
talk.
kind of kicks off.
I want to talk a little bit about, before we end, how do you view the spirit in the body or out of the body? So, like, we're taught a lot of times to go up, right? And we're going up to our soul star, our higher self, out of the body. And more recently, I've been like, I think my soul is more in the body than out of the body. I want to know what you think about that.
Yeah. I think that there are times that my body could not physically contain my soul, and my soul encapsulated me like an egg. And because our souls don't ever leave us, but I think sometimes we go against the soul enough that you have to feel, and it kind of like abandons the body, I feel like, to allow you to feel, to allow you to get to a bottom in which you are going to then take spirit back in. I think once you bring spirit into the heart center, in a conscious way, I don't believe spirit leaves you. I just feel like there are more and more ways then to use spirit to create in your life because it's from within. But I do think in parts of my life that maybe it wasn't inside of me because I wasn't allowing it.
Yeah.
And I believe in will, and I believe that the spirit and the vessel, and that there is a trinity, and that there has to be some kind of an allowance to that. There has to be some kind of permission to that. And just like we disrespect our bodies, I think we can disrespect the spirit too. And it can't leave you or abandon you, but it's not going to work with you either until you're willing to do the work that needs to be done.
Yeah, and the body is so much more denser. When I explain the energy bodies to people, the body is the densest part of us, right?
Yeah,
The most physical, dense part of us. And so think about if you have all these beliefs, thoughts, patterns, trauma within you, your body's going to be dense and not really be able to hold that soul.
yeah,
Like you said,
exactly.
it's sort of in you and out of you, but the lighter you get in the physical body, and not by weight, but
Just
within,
settles.
it can learn to trust you more and settle within
Mhm.
who you are. And the more you work with your chakras and your energy fields and all of that
Yeah,
stuff, the more it embodies itself within you. And that's really what's like shining out for people to see, right?
exactly, exactly. I used to thought we were broken so the light could shine in, but I said it before. I think we're broken so the light can finally show out.
I love that.
And breaking open and pushing everything out and getting everything out creates the room for spirit to re-enter and really start to do work.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we leave today, I just want to thank you for listening and joining us for our Sacred Wellness session. Keegan and I get together every third Thursday of the month, and we talk about real stuff that's going on in our lives, and the real stuff of women that we're friends with in our family that reach out to us. But I want you to ask yourself, and before we finish up, we talked about it a little bit, but what does my body need from me today? Just sit with that and think about it. Take some time to sit with your body, see where you're lacking, what you need. And these are really important things to learn to get back into the presence of your body. So until next time, be gentle with yourself and be present in your body. And remember that every day is always sacred and every day is what you make it. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Keegan, so much for being here with me.
Thank you for sharing the space with me again. I love it. Until the next time.
Till the next third Thursday.
Until the
Bye.
next day. Bye.
Oops.